Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Please sit back, fasten your seatbelts, and relax. We're off into the wild blue yonder at its wildest, where chills, spills, and a cast of thousands are all part of Wings Over Hollywood.
Contact, Courtney. Contact! 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 Contact!
Contact!
Magnificent men in their flying machine. They go up to the up, they go down to the down. They enchant all the ladies and steal all the scene. With their up to the up, and their down to the down. Down, flying around, looping the loop and defying the ground. They're all rightfully keen, those magnificent men in their flying machine.
Ever since the Wright brothers, Hollywood has been carrying on a mad love affair with the airplane. And for the past half-century, Hollywood's top stars have performed in all kinds of aerial antics. Biplanes and bombers, jennies and jets, movie makers have used them all as the glamorous props in a seemingly never-ending series of aviation epics. So join us for scenes from those famous and fabulous films that fly on Wings Over Hollywood.
Flying around, looping the loop and defying the ground. Rightfully seen, those magnificent men in their flying machine.
I thought we had it there for a minute. Keep them in the cameras. We might catch a nice backup. Oh, we're almost there, baby.
Joe, come on! Give us some help! We're getting ready to fly.
When there are wings over Hollywood in today's action melodramas, you can be certain that the sky's the limit. It's hang gliders to the rescue when James Coburn stars in Sky Riders. And then a helicopter joins the act for a hair-raising escape. Another melodrama, another helicopter comes to the rescue. In Silver Streak, Patrick McGowan is foiled trying to hijack a train. At the climax, hostages Richard Pryor, Jill Clayburgh, and Gene Wilder join the battle of train versus plane.
Are you all right? Is it over?
Once again, it's wings to the rescue for the explosive finale of Lucky Lady. World-famous stunt pilot Frank Tallman joins forces with stars Burt Reynolds, Gene Hackman, and Liza Minnelli, bombarding an entire fleet of villainous bootleggers. But it all had its beginning back in the silent days, when Hollywood stars risked their necks in these dangerous, newfangled contraptions called airplanes. For this early cliffhanger, Tom Mix climbed out of the saddle and into the cockpit to add a new kind of excitement to his rescue of the damsel in distress. Most moviegoers in the 20s had never flown. The very thought was terrifying. So imagine the excitement they felt during these scenes, which were photographed from a plane actually flying in and around the Grand Canyon for a movie. The small fry, however, reacted with enthusiasm to the adventure and romance of flying. At the Saturday matinee, many a future pilot vicariously accompanied Tom Mix on his perilous mission. With the arrival of sound, movie audiences will become accustomed to the new realism of roaring engines and the snarl of spinning propellers.
Follow Captain Gibson all the way, understand? If he crashes, keep on grinding.
Yes, Mr. Von Furst. There's no crash in the script, Mr. Von Furst.
Course not. But just in case, understand? You never can tell.
Yes.
In The Lost Squadron, the airplane again becomes a melodramatic device. Erich von Stroheim plays an utterly ruthless director who will do anything to make his movies more exciting.
Idea, the big fast.
That's Woody.
Look,
Woody,
Jimmy.
for you, see?
Acid.
Huh? Acid on the control wires. Von Furst has framed him.
Cameras! Keep up action! Have a mind to play! Let it crack! Bring it back,
I would like to know what's so important that you had to call me in the middle of the night.
So sorry, but important events like insistent alarm clock demand attention. We'll explain soon.
The producers of the popular Charlie Chan series are quick to realize how much the airplane adds to audience involvement.
Mr. Jeffrey.
I'm glad to meet you.
How do you do?
How would you people like to see what the interior of a bomber looks like?
That's a splendid idea.
In Murder Over New York, the wily Mr. Chan uses the airplane to trick the murderer into revealing himself.
Hang on, Tom. Here we go!
He's the killer. That's Dr. G.
They're gonna land. Come on.
The case is closed, but as usual, Charlie has the last word.
Well, it certainly worked all right. I was beginning to think he wasn't going to give himself away.
Desire to live, still strongest instinct in man.
Nice work, Pops.
We will now switch our controls to a tiny cabin plane where we will try to contact our authoress, Marge Duncan. Come in, Miss Duncan.
Thank you, Fred Adams. Hello, America. King Morgan flies again.
In Charter Pilot, Hollywood relies on the airplane as a preposterous device when Lynn Barry and Lloyd Nolan are involved in a radio serial that suddenly comes to life in the air as well as on the air.
Hey, look out!
Sounds almost real, doesn't it?
The boys are engaged in a terrific struggle. Shocking him! Oh, boy! That crash you heard was King Morgan putting the finishing touches on Faber.
How does she ever think up all that stuff? The action melodrama rises to fantastic new heights in the classic film King Kong. The magic ingredients are all there. A beautiful girl in jeopardy, a primitive beast on a rampage. And now, a duel to the death with mankind's newest and deadliest weapon, the aeroplane. It is a climax audiences will always remember.
Well, Denham, the airplane's got him.
Oh, no. It wasn't the airplanes. It was beauty killed the beast.
You won't believe your eyes when the musicals take to the skies next on Wings Over Hollywood. For Hollywood, the airplane was a natural when it came to musical extravaganzas. Flying down to Rio brought us Ginger Rogers heading a high-flying chorus line. Moviegoers cheered the battalions of breezy beauties performing a musical number on the world's most unusual stage, the wings of all different kinds of airplanes. Actually, the sequence never left the ground or the soundstage. Instead, a few planes hung from the studio ceiling, and just about every wind machine on the lot was used. But even today, some 40 years later, it is still a dazzling musical confection.
Have a good time, Shirley.
And there's no doubt that the airplane is here to stay when a superstar like Shirley Temple is welcomed aboard a plane named Lollipop. That's right. The good ship was an airship.
good ship. Lollipop, it's a sweet trip to a candy shop where bonbons play on the sunny beach of Peppermint Bay. Lemonade stands everywhere, Cracker Jack bands fill the air, and there you are, happy landing on a chocolate bar.
Come Josephine in my flying machine going.
Up she goes.
Up she goes. Balance your
Hollywood comedies and the airplane have always shared equal billing. The great funny men like Laurel and Hardy find as many uses for the airplane as cream pies and banana skins. What's even more remarkable is the fact that many of the comedians did all their own daredevil stunts, risking their necks just for a laugh.
Balance yourself like a bird on the beam in the air.
More recent screen comedies, such as Those Magnificent Men and Their Flying Machines, still find many inventive ways to get a laugh using an airplane as a prop.
Way up where the sky's the limit, we can go and hug and kiss a mile a minute, 'cause we're going up, going up, going up, going up. So long, goodbye.
Of all the flying films, it is the war movie that makes the most dramatic use of the airplane. The fabulous forerunner was Wings in 1927, when ex-fighter pilot William Wellman, at the age of 29, directed these awesome battle scenes. All the actors were required to fly their own planes, and in later years, flying would become the hobby of hosts of Hollywood stars, from Tyrone Power to Jimmy Stewart to Danny Kaye. Wings is not only the first movie to win an Oscar as the best picture of the year, it becomes the unquestioned prototype for every war movie which follows. Pictures like The Blue Max, starring George Peppard, recreate the pattern of gallantry among the air aces first established in Wings. Here are some of the finest aerial acrobatics ever filmed, as two German pilots challenge each other in a friendly test of flying skill which will end in disaster. In Aces High, the young and inexperienced fighter pilot triumphs in his first air battle. Again, in keeping with one of the most popular themes of the flying war movie, that triumph will be short-lived. Foreign Correspondent, Master director Alfred Hitchcock brings a new maturity to the war movie.
Firing at, I never heard of anything so stupid. I shall see the British consul as soon as I...
Always the innovator, Hitchcock lays the groundwork for what will become the spectacular air disaster movies of today. This superior thriller was filmed entirely on a Hollywood soundstage. Hitchcock makes the audience a part of his terrifying crash at sea by confining the action entirely inside the stricken plane. He amplifies that terror through the exclusive use of sound effects rather than background music. And flying war movies come of age. A new chapter of Hollywood's love affair with the airplane begins with the attack on Pearl Harbor. Films like Tora, Tora, Tora will bring a new dramatic truth to the screen. Now the movies will leave the novelty behind and truly take off for the air age of tomorrow.
Those magnificent men in their flying machine, they go up to the up.
Whether it's disaster or comedy, melodrama or musicals, the airplane was, is, and always will be big box office and a fertile field for imaginative filmmakers.
Flying around, looping the loop.
It is mankind's continuing search for new experiences, newer, faster, more exciting ways to fly, which will always sustain the movie's love affair with the airplane. And that's Hollywood.
I flew.